and won a national title. Referees tonight, Jeff Anderson, Doug Sermons, and James Duke. And game number 2 is underway in the 2025-26 campaign. Mountaineers in white, Camels in black. West Virginia has it first after winning the opening tip. And Floyd nearly gave it away there on the baseline entry pass to Harlan Obioha.
Campbell starting in a man-to-man. I'm sure they're going to be aggressive as well. They like to play aggressive. They like to play fast.
Floyd inbound for West Virginia. Here's Honor Huff for 3, off the mark. Huff took a bunch of threes in the season opener. He led the nation in three-pointers made last year. Starting lineup for the Fighting Camels, same as in their season opener against Wisconsin. Jeremiah Johnson, Cam Gregory, DJ Smith, Munir Newton, and Davidas Butka, the sophomore from Lithuania. Inside to Newton, rejected by Brennan Lorient, the North Texas transfer. Same 5 for WVU to start. Lorient, Floyd, Eaglestaff, Obioha, and Huff. And here is Huff on the near side. Goes inside to Lorient. Trying to back down his man. Off the window and in from Brennan Lorient, the senior for West Virginia.
2 good plays by Belo. One on the defensive end with the block, and then a little turnaround jumper off the glass.
He was first team all-conference last year at North Texas. Here's Davidas Butka. Left-hander is no good, but a whistle and a foul with 18:50 to go. It's Harlan Obioha's first personal.
Boy, Lorient really took his time off the glass. I'll tell you what, he looks really comfortable. Tell you what, I think he did foul him, but that was a late call by the officials. But they get the big man with his first foul.
Butka is a 6'9" sophomore. Went 0 for 1 from the foul line against Wisconsin. He's 0 for 1 to start the night. Campbell's coming off a 96-64 loss against the nationally ranked Badgers in their season opener. But as Coach Andershek told us earlier today, Bake, he thought that game was a lot closer than the final score indicated. 2-possession game there late in the second half.
And Butka looked bad on both of those free throws. Again, as I said, Campbell starting out in a man-to-man defense.
Here's Trey Eaglestaff. Did not score a field goal in his debut game for the Mountaineers Tuesday. Jasper Floyd inside to Obioha, and the 7-footer puts it in.
And that's what Jasper Floyd does. He drew the defense, dropped it off to the big fella, and he laid it in.
And a foul off the ball committed by Munir Newton underneath. It's West Virginia ball.
Munir Newton talking to Doug Sermons. He better be careful. Doug Sermons, anybody that's seen him, he does not take a lot.
Change already here for West Virginia, less than 2 minutes into the ballgame. DJ Thomas, the freshman, entering the contest, replacing Obioha, who just scored on that last possession for WVU. Amazingly, Bake, the 7-footer did not attempt a field goal in West Virginia's season opener. Here's Floyd. He scored a bunch in the last game. That's a tough finish. 6 unanswered for West Virginia in the first 2 minutes.
Well, you can see the speed that the Camels want to come down with. They got the ball down the court quick.
This is DJ Smith, the transfer from Robert Morris. He had 23 points in the season opener. Cam Gregory, now Jeremiah Johnson off the back of the rim. Long rebound secured by Huff. Now here's Floyd going right to the rack again, off the mark. Rebound Campbell. Smith, deep 3. Rebound West Virginia.
Well, it's a fast-paced game from the beginning here.
Eaglestaff inside, up and in. 8-0 run for WVU. First field goal for Trey Eaglestaff, and a quick timeout taken.
First game, but they look like they're really comfortable going into this.
Yeah, you know what, Bake, similar to Campbell's opener, which was much closer than the final score would indicate. Really, West Virginia's 16-point win was very close. A 2-possession game in the final 6 minutes. 2 freshmen on the floor now for West Virginia, as Amir Jenkins is out there along with DJ Thomas. Gregory inside to Butka. Has to put it on the floor. Trying to work against Lorient. Check that, Thomas. Butka with the left hand gets that one to drop.
Boy, Butka had to work for that. Nice move, but West Virginia had good interior defense, but he worked and worked and got his shot off.
Davidas Butka, preseason All-CAA honorable mention. One change during that timeout for the visitors as well. Tassos Cook into the game for his first action. Jenkins with the feed to Lorient. Partial deflection on the way up. Butka out at the top of the arc. Gives it to Jeremiah Johnson. Johnson inside. Butka is fouled by Huff.
Yep. Good two-man game that time. Butka getting a good job of getting good position inside. And certainly a mismatch with Huff on him, and Honor Huff picks up the foul.
So it sends Butka back to the free throw line where he went 0 for 2 earlier. And Butka swishes that one for his first free throw make of the season. Changes here for both teams. Obioha back in. Morris Ugasuk out there as well for West Virginia. For Campbell, Chris Fields Jr. into the game. All right, Butka for the second of 2. By the way, his twin brother Dominikas is on the Campbell roster, one of 6 sets of twins in college basketball this season. Butka has all 4 points for the Fighting Camels. It's a 4-point West Virginia lead with 16 minutes to go. This is Jenkins, the highly touted freshman from the state of Massachusetts. Mid-range jumper off the back of the rim, and a foul. It looks like possession will stay with West Virginia after we take our first time out. West Virginia leading 8-4 in Hope Coliseum. Defense, Coach Hodge had one of the best defensive units in the country at North Texas last year. Andershek coordinated the Gators defense during their run to a national championship last season. Mountaineers in possession after the first personal foul on Davidas Butka. Then there's another foul on Tassos Cook immediately after.
And Campbell doing something that you don't see a lot of teams doing. They're playing man-to-man on the baseline out of bounds.
Here's Morris Ugasuk, the transfer from South Carolina. Now Amir Jenkins. Jenkins cutting toward the hoop. Now kicking to Thomas in the corner for 3. Swish. First 3 ball of the night for West Virginia comes from the true freshman from Allen, Texas.
And the true freshman gets the assist.
That's right, Bake. Great freshman to freshman link up there. 7-point West Virginia lead cut back down to 5 by Cook.
Boy, Cook got downhill in a quick move there. Nice move inside and got that layup.
Cook going to be really valuable off the bench. Native of Columbus, Ohio. 3rd season at Campbell. Most games played at Campbell on the active roster. This is his 57th career appearance. Great feed there from Jenkins to Obioha, who misses it underneath.
Well, Harlan would love to have that back again. Not going to get a much easier shot.
Good defending here by Jenkins, and it touched the sideline. But Vic, it seemed like the true freshman who reclassified, by the way, to come to college early, Jenkins, seemed really comfortable in game 1, but maybe even a little more so tonight.
You know, he and DJ Thomas both do not play like freshmen. If you didn't know it and you saw in game, you would thought they were seasoned veterans.
Jenkins to the bench. Coach Hodge, Bake, it really seems will rotate players a lot, right? That's what we've seen in the early goings here, is that he's got 8 guys that played in the first game, made a ton of substitutions to try to keep fresh legs out there to play aggressively on both ends of the floor. Trey Eaglestaff had his first field goal of the season a few moments ago. Looking for another one. Short. Rebound Floyd. Kick to Eaglestaff for 3. Off the mark. And a foul on the rebound. Basket will not count for Obioha.
I'll tell you what, Campbell's going to have to do something. They're letting Obioha get too close to the bucket. He's going to get a lot of offensive rebounds. You've got to try to force him out of that lane.
4th team foul on Campbell, 2nd personal on Davidas Butka. So a change here. Butka, the 6'9" forward, goes to the bench, and he's replaced by Daniel Marcellinus, the 6'11" freshman from Nigeria.
Well, they said we better get some more size in this big guy, and eventually is going to take over.
Eagle staff off the screen. That's a long two. Rebound West Virginia. Ugasuk. Now Floyd. And Obioha at the top of the arc. Back to Floyd. He lost it. Scrapping forward is Obioha. And it's a tie-up. Arrow favors the Fighting Camels. So, Bake, you mentioned size a moment ago, so here's a quick stat for you. West Virginia got out-rebounded pretty badly against Mount St. Mary's. Mountaineers were -9 on the glass, but for most of the game, it was a double-digit deficit on the glass. Right now, West Virginia +4, 8 rebounds for WVU, 4 for Campbell.
Well, I'm sure that's something that Coach Hart really emphasized, that, you know, we cannot continue to get beat on the boards like we did.
Cam Gregory with a drive and a travel.
You know, West Virginia has had trouble rebounding. They lost a rebounding battle against Maryland in the scrimmage, against Fairmont State in the exhibition, and the other night. But that's going to come around. That's not going to happen the whole year.
So after the third Campbell turnover, it's West Virginia ball again. Mountaineers have missed their last 4 consecutive field goal attempts. Thomas can't change it. 0 for 5 are the Mountaineers on their last 5 jumpers. Tassos Cook to run the offense for the Fighting Camels. Marcellinus first touch on offense. Cook feeds it back to him, and he lost it. Another Camels turnover. That's back-to-back possessions, ending in turnovers for the Fighting Camels. And another turnover. Floyd's just had trouble keeping possession of the ball here. That's the second time he's lost it in quick succession.
Yeah, you won't see that very often. Jasper Floyd, usually very short-handed.
Gregory is too strong. Rebound, Brennan Lorient. 5-point West Virginia lead with about 13 left in the first half. Lorient just so rangy there on that near side. Here's Floyd for 3. Rebound Camels. Good work there by Gregory to not just secure it, but keep it in. DJ Smith, look at a 3. Oh, way off. Air ball, West Virginia ball.
Smith is a much better shooter than that. He really rushed that shot just now.
And Smith will take a seat for Campbell. And West Virginia also making some changes, getting some things sorted out here. For WVU, it's Floyd, Huff, Thomas, Eaglestaff, and Obioha on the court. For the Fighting Camels, Cook, Gregory, Marcellinus, Fields, and Johnson. Just over 12:30 left in the half. Trigger from Honor Huff, and the foul! I mean, that's what he does best, Bake.
He came off that screen ready to shoot. You know, Honor Huff had a tough night shooting against Mount St. Mary's, but he got to the free throw line, still ended up with 16 points. And if you ask him, he'll tell you that he did not shoot well from 3 last ball game.
Fouled in a very similar way, too, that Cook just gets underneath him as he's on his way back down. Got to let the shooter land. Got to let the shooter have his space. Huff a chance for the rare 4-point play, and he got it. Has not missed a free throw yet this season. 7 for 7 Tuesday night. 1 for 1 now. It's a 9-point West Virginia lead. Largest lead of the game. And the Camels, against the press, have turned it over.
Yeah, we see a 1-2-2 press out of West Virginia, and they turned it over. And then you have to watch West Virginia, because after they get out of the press, they half court, they go back to man-to-man.
Mountaineers have a chance here to open up a double-digit lead. They opened the game on an 8-0 run. The big fella, Obioha, backing down Marcellinus. Obioha flicks it out to Eaglestaff. 2 on the shot clock. Eaglestaff doesn't know. Heaves it up. Short. Shot clock violation.
Well, Trey Eaglestaff lost the clock, but the other teammates, somebody's got to let him know. You know, and they did let him know, but it was too little too late. But you know what? Trey Eaglestaff has been more aggressive this ball game than he was in the first one, and that's good to see. But here's that press again. They'll trap out of it, try to get a turnover, and now we'll retreat back after they cross half court and then go back man-to-man.
Dominikas Butka into the game for his first action. Great take there by Munir Newton.
And Newton able to get downhill and get an easy basket inside.
Back to a 7-point West Virginia lead. And with Floyd on the bench for WVU, Jenkins, the freshman, runs the offense. Quick spin move by Jenkins. No good. Rebound, Eaglestaff, basket, and the foul.
Nice, good hard work by Trey inside.
West Virginia has a 9-point lead with 11:27 to go, and Trey Eaglestaff is finding his footing in Morgantown. That Yesufu showed a ton of maturity, because sometimes when players redshirt, they check out, right? But Yesufu stayed engaged with the team the entire season. Andershek said he had respected him a ton because of that, and that's why when he was forming his staff, one of the first calls that he made was to Yesufu to see if he'd be interested in making the transition to coaching, and sure enough, it's all worked out. Under 10 to shoot here for the Campbells, who trail by 9. DJ Smith running out of time, has to heave it up over Jenkins, and he misses everything. Shot clock violation and
what
a
a defensive possession for West Virginia. Nothing easy at all. And that's what you will see out of a Ross Hodge defense. Extremely aggressive.
That would be why Coach Hodges' squad at North Texas allowed fewer than 60 points per game last season, Bake, right? Third best in the country, just a 1.5 off Houston.
You know, to close the book on Yesufu there, I'm sure everybody on Campbell's team picked his brain about what it's like to come into the Coliseum.
Oh, for sure, Bake. And, you know, Yesufu just says he's really grateful to have an opportunity, right?
Sure.
Some coaches have to, you know, be volunteers or graduate assistants first, but Yesufu has been able to find a position as an assistant coach right away. He seems to really be enjoying the opportunity. Fields nearly walked with it. Has Gregory in the corner, who hits an open 3.
And that's that fast pace that Campbell wants to play with. Get the ball up the floor, find the open man, which they did, you know, perfectly just now.
Quickly, the Campbells here, Bake, have made this a 2-possession game. West Virginia up 17-11. Eaglestaff for 3. Yes!
That's the Eaglestaff that everybody's heard about.
Third three-pointer of the game for the Mountaineers. Back to a 9-point lead. Fields, tough take. Doesn't get the roll. Lorient up for the rebound. Still loose. Fighting Campbells have it. Back underneath to Fields, who's fouled by Eaglestaff. Well, Trey Eaglestaff is not going to miss in between the circles like that, Bake.
No.
Coming around on the give from Lorient. We've spoken a lot about Huff, how he led the nation at Chattanooga last year with 131 three-pointers made. Well, Eaglestaff made 84 threes, which isn't bad either.
2 games over 40 points. Well, he looks so much more comfortable tonight than he did opening night.
Chris Fields Jr. makes the first of 2 after he was fouled by Eaglestaff. Changes for WVU. Obioha, Ugasuk, and Fields back into the game. Lorient still out there. Same with Eaglestaff. Just one last thought on Trey Eaglestaff, the transfer from North Dakota. He set a Summit League tournament record last season with 51 points in a win over South Dakota. That was the most by a college player in about 3 years. I mean, that is ridiculous.
It is. Well, when you get in a zone like that, you don't want the night to end.
Fields made them both. 7-point West Virginia lead. Jasper Floyd across to Ugasuk. Pass nearly taken away there by the Fighting Campbells. Dunk chance for Lorient. He's fouled.
Wow.
Boy, Fields really got up there for it. It's his first personal, but he almost had that clean as Lorient went for the rim.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to call it at first. Tell you what, Belo, I don't think Belo thought there was anybody even close to him when he went up for that dunk.
It's rare that you see like a chase down style block when you're not in transition.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's really what that ended up being for Fields, who covered a ton of ground from the top of the arc to come down there. Lorient, for first of 2, is no good.
Jasper Fields has been a little more careless with the basketball than I would anticipate. That was almost another turnover just now, and fortunately the Mountaineers came up with it.
Lorient 1 for 2. An issue for West Virginia in game 1, the win over Mount St. Mary's, was that the Mountaineers really didn't shoot free throws that well, Bake. WVU just 23 of 35. Shot a ton of free throws, which helped make the difference in the game, but went 1 for 2 a lot in the first half. Whistle off the ball. Morris Ugasuk picks up a foul. Possession will stay with the Fighting Campbells, who trail by 8 with about 9 to go. Huff back into the game for WVU. Eagle staff to the bench. DJ Smith will bring it in here for the Fighting Camels. He had 23 against Wisconsin in the season opener. He has yet to score tonight. Johnson's shot is off. Obioha has the rebound for WVU. Mountaineers still with the edge in rebounding margin here in the early goings. Obioha.
Good defense inside by Campbell.
Jasper Floyd. And now it's Lorient, 7 to shoot.
Belo short-armed that shot.
Fields with a ball fake and a mid-range shot. Rebound West Virginia. What was a fast-paced game early has slowed down a bit here as we approach the 8-minute mark in the first half. Huff coming around, and he traveled. West Virginia leads Campbell 21-13. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Eagle staff has a third of West Virginia's 21 points as the Mountaineers lead by 8 in the final 8 minutes of the first half. Battle of first-year head coaches, Ross Hodge of West Virginia and John Andershek of Campbell University. At 32 years old, the third youngest head coach in the nation. First all-time meeting between the two programs. This is Chris Fields between the circles. He has Tassos Cook on the wing. And Cook has 8 to shoot. Great feed to Fields. And a flush.
You know, a good offensive set. Campbell had 4 guys out, 1 in, backdoor cut, and that's how you beat pressure all the time.
Back to a 2-possession game. Huff stepped out of bounds. West Virginia turns it over for the 5th time in the game.
You draw 2 guys to you, and the offensive man rolls to the basket, gets the easy flush.
Fields one of several guys on this team that has NCAA tournament experience. So does Gregory and Smith. Both of those guys started tonight for the Fighting Camels. Fields last year at Norfolk State won the MEAC title, went to the NCAA tournament. Team that knocked Norfolk State out of the NCAA tournament was the Florida Gators. Here's Fields again over the 7-footer Obioha, but can't put it through the cup.
Boy, nice move by Fields. Did everything but finish.
Lorient inside to Obioha. He's fouled.
West Virginia saw the mismatch inside. Obioha get the ball up, didn't get it to go down, but he will get to the line. He really worked hard to get position inside.
Obioha, first-year Mountaineer, a senior from Kansas. He was 5 for 8 from the foul line in game 1. Eagle staff back out there. He's leading West Virginia in scoring with 7 points. Ugasuk to take a seat. Changes for the Fighting Camels as well. Davidas Butka returning to the game, replacing Munir Newton, who just picked up his second personal. Butka started the game but has seen limited minutes in the first half because he also picked up 2 fouls very early on in the game. For West Virginia, nobody in foul trouble. Obioha gets the membership roll for his 3rd point, and it's a 7-point West Virginia lead.
And here comes West Virginia with that full court pressure again.
Forced a turnover with it earlier in the half. Floyd at the tip of the spear. Sorry, Bake. Floyd at the tip of the spear with Huff and Eaglestaff in there as well.
And now West Virginia drops back into a man-to-man, which you really have to work on that to get it down right.
3 seconds on Butka. Bake, back to that point. How difficult is that to go from playing a zone press to then picking up man?
Well, it's difficult, but you have to have good communication. And Ross Hodge, with his defensive experience, they've worked on that a lot. Because if you don't rotate right, somebody's going to be wide open. But they've done a good job of getting back.
Is it tricky as an offense, too, to combat that?
Yeah, it is. Because a lot of times you don't know whether they're going to stay in that zone or they're going to go man.
It's a great take by Thomas. He had everything but the finish underneath. Just over 6 minutes left in the first half. Butka setting a screen to try to help out DJ Smith. Inside to Butka. Now Cam Gregory to Butka. Got it.
Boy, Gregory with a nice play. He drew 2 defenders, dropped it off to Butka, who made the easy layup.
Second field goal for Butka. It's a 5-point game. West Virginia has led the entire game here. Offensive foul on Lorient. The point to make there was that West Virginia has gone 4+ minutes without a field goal, and that drought's going to continue after the offensive foul.
Look at the drive. Picked up, had 2 guys come over, dropped it off to Butka, who finished it.
A foul and a turnover there on Lorient. Under 5.5 left. Camels can try to make it a 1-possession game here. Lorient with the rejection. Making up for the miscue on the offensive end with a big swat underneath. And then a physical screen. Lorient against Butka. The kick to Eaglestaff for 3. Swish!
That's what happens when you try to double down on the post and you've got a guy like Eaglestaff that can knock shots down.
Nearly a 5-minute scoring drought for West Virginia ended after that 3 from Eaglestaff. He was the last player to make a field goal for WVU. He's got a pair of 3s on the night after going 0 in the season opener. Smith, who is yet to score, to Butka with 3 to shoot. Butka can't get it to drop, but he's fouled. DJ Thomas, his first personal 6th team foul on West Virginia.
Tell you what, Beto had that measured the whole time. If you forget where a shooter is, he's going to burn you, and that's what happened just now.
Davidas Butka, 7 points for him. He's pacing the Fighting Camels in the scoring column at this point in the game. Lorient to the bench. Ugasuk returns to the hardwood. And one more change here for West Virginia as we await the second free throw from Butka. It's the big man Obioha back in, replacing the freshman Thomas. And more changes here. Munir Newton back into the game, replacing Chris Fields. You know, Baker's Butka goes for the second free throw here. One thing that Coach Andershek mentioned during shoot-around today is that in order for him to feel really good about the Camels' chances tonight, both Jeremiah Johnson and DJ Smith have to get going. That was at the top of the scout for Coach Hodge and company. Neither has scored in this game.
Coach Anderson was upset with Johnson when they played Wisconsin, too. Said he was non-existent, called him a pedestrian.
You can see the confidence there from Eagle staff. That one missed, but man, he's just letting them fly now. Newton gives it to Cam Gregory between the circles. Gregory to Buka. And now Johnson driving. Some contact there and a foul. And we'll step aside for a quick timeout. West Virginia and Campbell battling at Hope Coliseum. Mountaineers lead.
Way through this. This was done with a purpose in mind.
We asked him about that national championship run at Florida, Bake. And he says everything about last season informs what he's doing as the head coach at Campbell. You want to win a championship, you schedule tough.
That's exactly right.
Jeremiah Johnson, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Those are his first points. Played at Green Bay last season. Former Mountaineer Jordan McCabe was an assistant coach on that staff.
Yep.
Okay, Mountaineers struggling a bit offensively as of late, shooting 36% as a team. Trayson Eaglestaff is the only player who scored a field goal for WVU in the last 9 minutes of action. Obioha and one.
That is the strength of Obioha. He just muscled that through the defense and got it up and it got the friendly roll.
One more look at it. Just taking Daniel Marshall-Innes to school underneath.
Yes, he is.
Obioha, 7-foot senior. Although I will say, Bake, it should be noted that he says he's 7'1". He has told me that before, 7'1", and that he didn't stop growing until he was a senior in high school, and he was playing football too. I mean, could you imagine a 6'10", 6'11" tight end? Jeez. Obioha missed the free throw, so it's an 8-point West Virginia lead.
He's done a great job of getting his body in shape.
Now that's a must, isn't it, Bake, to play in this system for under Coach Hodge?
Yes.
Newton has 5 to shoot. Gives it up to Smith. Smith inside against Obioha, tries to go over top. Rebound Lorient. He's done a great job on the defensive glass tonight. And we've got a stoppage here because the shot clock did not start on that possession for West Virginia. The note on Lorient, by the way, 5 rebounds for WVU, which is +5 on rebounding margin. Bake, that was something we were going to watch tonight as West Virginia got out-rebounded in the opener against the Mount, doing better on the glass in the first half here.
And I'm sure that's something that Coach Hodge emphasized.
Approaching the final 2.5 minutes, West Virginia looking to make it a double-digit lead. Lorient inside. He's got the foul. Didn't get the shot, though. It's Munir Newton's 3rd personal foul.
Tell you what, Belo is awfully strong when he gets that ball down in the post. Just unfortunate that shot didn't drop for him.
At the line for West Virginia, Brendan Lorient, 2 shots. Lorient now 2 for 3 in the game at the charity stripe. You know, he introduces himself to others as Belo.
Yeah.
Bake. Did you know that? Not Brennan, Belo.
No. You know, and, I was at a lot of practice. They were calling him Belo, and I said, is it all right if I call you Belo? He says, yeah, that's what everybody calls me. So.
5 points now for the North Texas transfer as West Virginia has its largest lead of the game. Double-digit cushion for the first time. Cam Gregory inside to Buka. Back to Gregory, a key returner on this team. Oh, and a swat from Lorient.
Yep, that was a goal, Tim. I don't think there was much of a question. That ball was on its way down.
Our referee, Jeff Anderson, was all over it here on the near side. One more look from our slam cam. Lorient got all of it, but you see there the referee, Jeff Anderson, in the top right corner of the screen.
He had a perfect angle to see that.
So they'll count it as a good basket for Cam Gregory. The transfer from St. Francis and second-year Campbell back to an 8-point edge for West Virginia at Hope Coliseum. Nick Farrell and Warren Baker with you for Game 2 of a new season. Mountaineers defeated the Mount, looking to hand Coach Hodge win number 2 of the year. That's a turnover. Here's Gregory in transition. The reverse. He's fouled.
Now, Lawrence with the foul. That wasn't a good pass. He telegraphed that pass into the big fella, and everybody in the floor or on the floor saw it coming, and it was picked off.
I think that's probably an example of what you don't want to do, right? Have mistakes compound into mistakes on the other end, right? Lorient has the bad pass on one end and then commits the foul on the other. Gregory makes the first of 2. That's his first made free throw of the season. And Lorient with 2 personal fouls, the only Mountaineer with 2, goes to the bench, replaced by the freshman DJ Thomas. Gregory 2 for 2. He has 7 points. That's tied for a team high. But still, West Virginia doing a great job against the 2 players at the top of the scout, the guards, Jeremiah Johnson and DJ Smith. Neither has made a field goal. Johnson only has 1 point from the free throw line. Only Smith is out there currently for the visitors. Thomas a 3. No good. And a rebound by Smith. It's a 2-possession game with about 90 seconds to go in the first half. Smith inside. Off the glass, no good. Rebound put back by Fields, no good. Butka, the 3rd try, no good. Fields, the 4th try, no good.
Wow. West Virginia dodging a bullet there.
Huff, can he make him pay? Yes!
You have 4 attempts within 2 feet of the basket, and then you end up giving up a 3 at the other end.
Significant moment in this first half, Bake, as we enter the final minute of play. Chance there to make it a 4-point game. Instead, it's a 5-point swing. Mountaineers up by 9 as Honor Huff hits his second 3 of the ball game. This is Cook to Fields, under 10 to shoot for the Fighting Camels. Fields to Smith for 3. No good. Ugasuk can't corral it, but we got a whistle.
It's a foul on West Virginia. I don't know who they called it on.
They're going to get Huff for his second personal on a clear out.
Said he was back in, cleared him out. Yep.
So with 9 fouls as a team for West Virginia, this is a 1-and-1 here for Gregory as we see the contact that resulted in the foul. Gregory is 2 for 2 at the line. He'll get a 1-and-1. First one's good. 8 points for Cam Gregory. That leads the way for the Camels. For West Virginia, Trey Eaglestaff leads all scorers with 10 points. Gregory, 2 for 2.
When the free throws have really helped Campbell stay in this ball game, and Coach Hodge calling a timeout.
38 seconds left. West Virginia 30 all time against the current members of the CAA. That's Campbell's conference. By the way, the Camels are picked to finish 7th in the 13-team CAA. 30 seconds left. Fields, full head of steam to the basket. It falls to Thomas on the near side. Baseline drive. He's hacked.
Nice take by DJ Thomas.
Marcellinus, the culpable Camel there. And it's double bonus here, so 2 shots for Thomas. Although he was fouled going in shooting motion anyway. So 2 free throws here for the freshman, who is a former top 75 forward prospect in his recruiting class. Got the first.
They're sending Obioha back. So if he makes his free throw, look for West Virginia to have some type of, I think, full court pressure.
Thomas misses long. Rebound West Virginia, Jasper Floyd. West Virginia doesn't need to really rush here. It's a 5-second difference between game and shot clock. And so Floyd, the savvy veteran senior, slows things down. Under 10 seconds left, 5 to shoot. Floyd got tied up with Jenkins, trying to clear space. Long two, in and out. Obioha tried to get the board. Possession will stay with West Virginia. The clock in the arena did not stop on the whistle. So our referees are going to have to go over to the table potentially to take a look. Oh, and in fact, a change in the call here. Initially, it was West Virginia ball. Instead, it's Campbell's ball. There will not be a review for the time, and Smith did not get that shot off. So, all that to say, it's West Virginia 35. John Anderschek, the head coach of the Fighting Camels. Ross Hodge, the head coach of the Mountaineers. We're underway in the second half of the first meeting between West Virginia and Campbell. Errant pass there by Jasper Floyd. Chance for a run out here for DJ Smith. He went the entire first half without a point. He's got his first field goal there.
Well, unlike Jasper Floyd to be as careless with the basketball as he has been tonight.
Smith, the transfer from Bobby Moe, one of several players who are newcomers to this Camels roster with NCAA tournament experience. Honor Huff with the feed to Belo. Brennan Lorient. Rebound cleared by Campbell. And a giveaway there by the Fighting Camels right away.
You know, Johnson had a bad angle to try to get that pass inside. Had he taken a couple more dribbles toward the baseline here, he would have had a better angle to get that bounce pass in.
West Virginia's starting 5 is out there to begin the second half. That's Lorient, Floyd, Huff, Eaglestaff, and Obioha. Huff firing over Obioha. Still loose. Rebound cleared now by Campbell. Jeremiah Johnson with it. And a foul on Obioha under the basket, about 25 feet away from the ball there. It's his second personal. 4 Mountaineers have 2 personal fouls. For the Camels, 1 player has 3. That's Munir Newton. He's not on the floor to begin the second half. Smith fires it into Davidas Buka. Buka with the give to Johnson. Back to Buka. Dribbling into the key and fading away. Great rebound there by Fields.
Boy, good work by Fields inside.
Lorient poked it free, and it's a turnover.
Yeah. Went over Fields' hand. You do all that hard work inside and then have it knocked off your hand.
Good active hands there by Lorient. That's one thing that Coach Hodge said that he thought his team did extremely well in the season opener against Mount St. Mary's. Active hands, a lot of deflections. He said those 20 turnovers forced made the difference in the game. Eaglestaff for 3. Trying to pick up where he left off at the end of the first half. Mountaineers have yet to score here in the second stanza. Johnson for 3. Rebound again by Fields. Trying to put it back up. Second chance now, and he's fouled.
And right now, Campbell relentless on the glass.
Referees will tag Jasper Floyd with his first personal. Great effort underneath by Fields. A couple of possessions in a row here where he's done a great job cleaning up the glass. By the way, referees tonight, Jeff Anderson, Doug Sermons, James Duke. Fields made a pair of free throws in the first half.
You know, you take a look at Campbell, the score against Wisconsin is not indicative of how they played. That was a close ball game until the last 5 minutes. So these guys aren't going to go away.
96-64 was the final in the season opening loss for Campbell as Fields hits again. 4 for 4 from the line, 4-point West Virginia lead. It was tight
Yes, it was until like the last 7 minutes.
Campbell's had a chance to make it a one-possession game around that point in the second half, and then started to get a little bit selfish, started to gamble too much against a Power 4 opponent, and things just got really out of hand. Obioha with the first field goal for West Virginia in the second half.
A nice pass from Belo.
7 points now for the 7-footer from Kansas. Inside to the Campbell big, and Lorient with the swat. Lorient has it again to Obioha.
Obioha's hit a couple of those tonight.
Smith over Lorient and hits. We've got a stoppage for an injured Campbell underneath the basket. I believe that's Chris Fields, the transfer from Norfolk State. 17 minutes to go. Campbell has trimmed what was an 8-point game at halftime to a 3-point deficit here with 17 left.
You know, and Smith finally hit a big shot, but he's one of those guys, once he gets cranked up, he's hard to stop.
It just looks like on the replay there that Fields and Floyd got tied up. Fields was a double-figure scorer against Wisconsin, one of 3 players in double figures in that season-opening loss.
Fields has brought a lot of energy to the ball club here in the beginning of the second half.
Amir Jenkins running the point for West Virginia. He's been back into the game along with fellow freshman DJ Thomas. Jenkins is stripped, and the Camels get possession back.
Yeah, he got stripped and then hit him, went out of bounds.
Great defending there by Cam Gregory, the 6'5" senior, to force the turnover. West Virginia going back to its pressure.
They really haven't trapped much out of it, but they can, but they have not. And now they drop back into their man-to-man.
Camels have not led in this game, but they can tie the score here with a 3 on this possession. Buka. He's got Smith on the far side. Dribble drive, puts it up. Met a lot of resistance there from Lorient. Possession will stay with the Camels. Lorient's been very active underneath on the defensive end. He has 3 blocks and a great wall up there. Buka triggers it. Mid-range jumper is off the mark. Here's Honor Huff for West Virginia. Inside to Lorient. Now Thomas down low. Up and in.
Good ball movement by West Virginia. Huff looked like he had a 3. So guys inside had better position, made a good pass in.
Back to a 2-possession lead for the Golden Blue. Great feed from Gregory to Newton. Terrific link up.
I'll tell you what, Campbell's really been aggressive going to the hole.
Jenkins off the screen from Thomas. Gives it to his fellow freshman teammate. Now it's Huff. A long 3. Missed it. Tight one here between West Virginia and Campbell. It was an 8-point game at halftime. It's a 3-point game now. West Virginia holding on to a 37-34 lead. John Hendershek says that he just returned to the team in time for the Wisconsin game, and he is the definition of toughness. And it's been great for him to be around his guys to see what toughness really is.
And I think the players have seen that, and that really inspires them. You know, here's our coach going through this. If he's that tough, we can be tough too. So kudos to him, and let's just hope the best comes out for him.
And right now, the Camels have made it a 1-point game against West Virginia of the Big 12 Conference. Their second consecutive meeting with a Power 4 opponent. Obioha, that's an easy and 1 for the big fella. 9 points and a chance for 10.
Yeah, Trey Eaglestaff had a shot right there and looked inside and saw the big fella, said, hey, let him get this thing for a layup. I don't think they can stop him inside. You know, he had a few shots that rolled off, but really, I don't think they have anybody that can really handle him low when he gets good position.
The senior Obioha played for UNC Wilmington last season. He had 17 games in double figures. I think we've got a foul on Newton. We'll check that. It was a lane violation.
Lane violation.
Check that.
They stepped in.
There it is. Great work by our replay crew to spot that on the near side. Obioha gets a second chance. Oh, that one goes in.
Wow.
My goodness.
Off the top of the backboard. Take them any way you can get them.
Mountaineers continuing to press, holding a 4-point lead in the second half. Smith working against Jenkins, the freshman. Now Buka to his brother Dominikas Buka. Back to Davidas. Inside. Great finish with the left hand from Davidas Buka. He's in double figures.
Campbell has done a tremendous job of attacking the basket inside. They try to go inside almost every time down, and I tell you what, they've had some big success doing it.
I've said it before, Bake, we'll say it again. The Wisconsin game was tight for Campbell until the very end.
Yes.
When things got out of hand. It is the exact same scenario here with 14 to go in the ball game against West Virginia. Chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. The Camels have not led tonight. Cook to Smith. He's trapped. He's stripped. Gets it back and can dribble again. Instead, he'll fire from the corner. Off the mark. Buka in there to try to rebound it. It'll stay with the Camels, last touched by West Virginia.
I tell you, when that shot goes up, the Fighting Camels are going to the board.
Changes for West Virginia. Jasper Floyd and Brennan Lorient, the former Mean Green teammates, back into the ball game. DJ Thomas, Morris Ugasuk, Trayson Eaglestaff also out there for West Virginia. Not on the floor currently is Chris Fields Jr. for the Fighting Camels. He recently left the game with an injury. He has the most rebounds of any player in this game. Fields, the 6'7" junior forward with 11 boards. Floyd, great feed to his teammate Thomas. 8 points for the freshman.
Boy, I give Jasper Floyd a ton of credit for that setup.
That's what Floyd did really well last season at North Texas, right, Bake? He had 4 assists per game. He had 4 last night. Errant pass there from the Fighting Camels and a turnover. 10 Campbell turnovers in the ball game. West Virginia up 4 with 13:03 remaining.
Well, from time to time, both teams have been sloppy with the basketball tonight, but I'm going to go and give the defenses credit for this. That both teams have really played hard on the defensive end.
Fields back in there for the Camels after that stoppage. Eaglestaff against Cook. Back to Jasper Floyd near midcourt. Floyd spinning and trying to work his way inside. He's fouled on the floor by DJ Smith, his first personal. Check that second foul on Smith. And more substitutions here for the visiting team. It's Cam Gregory who returns to the lineup. Dominikas Buka exits the game. Eaglestaff for 3. Trying to find that touch that he had in the first half. Smith to Fields. Now a kick to the corner to Gregory. Gregory all the way across. Missing with the left hand. Rebound, Eaglestaff for WVU. Eaglestaff to Lorient off the rim on the flush. Lorient has it again. Backing his man underneath. He'll go to the free throw line. Frustration there, though, you can tell, Bake, from Lorient.
Yes. Good defense by the rim.
Well, Bake, you were praising how well both of these teams are playing defensively. I guess it's just been that kind of night.
It has been. We've seen both teams have a lot of opportunities inside where shots just didn't fall.
Cam Gregory committed the foul that sent Lorient to the free throw line. He's now made 4 consecutive foul shots and has 6 points. Changes for Campbell. Budka, Davidas Budka back into the game, along with Jeremiah Johnson. Smith, Cook, Fields also out there for the Fighting Camels. For West Virginia, another change here. Honor Huff back into the game, replacing Trayson Eaglestaff.
You know, good to see Fields back for Campbell. I thought when he went down that the injury was going to be a little more severe, but he shook it off, and he's back out there, and that young man has really played hard this evening.
Lorient's second foul shot is good. More pressure here from WVU, which is leading by 6. Here's Cook. Great defending by WVU. Lorient's helping out. Budka going to his left again. Falls off the rim. Floyd to Huff. Open look. Off the rim.
Boy, you don't, if you're Campbell, you don't want to give Huff too many looks like that.
Smith will try a 3. Rebound West Virginia. Floyd through contact. In fact, he is fouled. And that'll bring us to a timeout. West Virginia has a 2-possession lead over the Fighting Camels of Campbell. 40. All the way from Lithuania.
Lithuania, yes. And if you look, oh boy, I'll tell you what, Jasper Floyd just had another really, really bad turnover on the inbounds. But if you look at rosters all across the country, you will see players from overseas like that on big rosters.
Mountaineers even have one player from Finland who's on the floor right now, in Morris Ugasuk. Fields, that is a tough finish down low from Chris Fields, who's now a basket away from a double-double.
I just can't get over how aggressive they've been and how they want to go inside and try to play and beat West Virginia. And they've done a good job of it this evening.
In fact, they're talking about international players. West Virginia has players from 4 continents on its roster. Obioha off the glass and in. He's got a dozen. Of course, North America, you've got a player from Japan, a player from Africa in Abraham Oyedir, and then you've got Ugasuk from Finland.
Finland, yes.
Johnson with a drive. Over Obioha and in.
How many times can they go downhill tonight? Wow.
First field goal for Johnson, the 6'4" sophomore. Both he and DJ Smith were held without field goals in the first half. Johnson did have a free throw, though, in the opening period.
I'll be interested to see a shooting chart after this game is over. Ooh, excellent pass from the big fella.
And a terrific finish, too, from Ugasuk. That's his first basket of the game. Great vision, though, from Obioha Bake. Back to a 6-point West Virginia lead. Fields with a kick to Dominikos Budka. Off the glass and too strong. Davidas Budka getting involved to try to get the rebound. It's a tie-up, and it's the Camels' ball. Arrow favoring the visitors here. It's a good-looking feed there from Obioha as we
yes, it was.
See the reverse angle. Who says 7-footers can't pass, Bake? Smith to bring it in for Campbell. Johnson off the screen to the rack. He's fouled. Jasper Floyd picks up his second. So Johnson will go back to the free throw line. Makes the first of 2 here.
Now, as a coach, you want to keep that ball out of the paint area. Boy, Campbell has done one heck of a job of getting shots in there.
5 points now for Johnson. He makes both. Fields will exit the game, replaced by Munir Newton. What does West Virginia need to do better defensively to prevent Campbell from getting easy shots in the key?
Well, be tough, because that's exactly what Campbell, they put their head down and say, I'm going to get there. Can you stop me?
Under 9 minutes to go in a tightly contested ball game between West Virginia and Campbell. Mountaineers lead it by 4 on their home floor, and an offensive foul committed by Harlan Obioha results in another turnover for West Virginia. So West Virginia extending the defense again here. We've seen the Mountaineers go to this 1-2-2 full court pressure from time to time in the game. Johnson wants to drive again, and he's fouled by Fields that time. Check that, fouled by DJ Thomas.
You know, West Virginia's had this full court pressure. A lot of times you're not doing it to try to steal the ball. What you're trying to do is let them make some time, or use some time getting the ball up the floor, which gives them less time once they get in the front court to do what they've been doing, and that's attacking. But even with West Virginia pressing, they've still been able to get into that offense and drive.
The Fighting Camels have shot it really well from the free throw line tonight, Big. Johnson has made 5 free throws in a row. He has 7 points in the game, and West Virginia's lead is now just 2. Camels, by the way, 16 for 20, 80% from the free throw line. West Virginia just shooting 64%. Lorient with a jump stop. He misses the shot. Eaglestaff for 3. Mountaineers really needed to get one on this possession. Still fighting his Fields, and he scores. Check that, DJ Thomas with the basket.
Good job by Thomas inside.
Four-point WVU lead with under 8 to go. Smith almost lost it on the far side. 9 to shoot. The Camels have attacked the glass well on the last several possessions. Not happening here, though. Cook traveled. Well, folks, don't go anywhere. This is going to be a tight 50-46. It's a 4-point game. WVU shooting below 40% from the field here in the second half, and is 0 for 6 from beyond the arc. And Big, you mentioned earlier about how Campbell was getting whatever it wanted offensively. Both of these teams have 24 paint points. Eaglestaff, a big bucket there for WVU, his first field goal of the second half.
Well, Trey Eaglestaff really, really under control. He was going to look to pass it if someone was open. He took his time and got it off the glass.
Still a 2-possession game after the bucket from Eaglestaff. Buka to Smith, the transfer from Robert Morris. Smith over Eaglestaff, short. Hand check there by Johnson. Stopping the clock with 6:40 to play.
Both teams with 5 team fouls, so still a couple of fouls before you go to the line. Coach Hodge barking out directions that they have something set.
Floyd to Thomas, passes tipped. Possession will stay with West Virginia with 6:26 left.
Eagle staff had his feet set to let that ride, but deflection knocks it out of bounds. Mountaineers have to take it out.
And Doug Sermon slams the ball down as West Virginia couldn't determine who should bring the ball in. Floyd does get it in back into play. Eagle staff driving to the hoop, in and out.
Oh my.
Been that kind of night on offense, Big.
Yes, we've seen a number of shots.
Tuesday against the Mount, it was issues at the free throw line for West Virginia. In the second half, it's really just been issues from everywhere, getting it to go through the rim. On the other end, more paint points for the Fighting Camels. Bubka has 13. That is now a game high.
Tell you what, when you're shooting 4-footers, it's hard to get cold. You know, I mean, you're going to make those. Those are high percentage shots.
Honor Huff. He has yet to score in the second half. He's fouled, and fouled hard, but gets right back up to his feet. They'll tag Cam Gregory with the foul. So Huff will go to the free throw line, the highly touted transfer guard from Chattanooga. Won an NIT title last season with the Mocs. 5'10" senior from Brooklyn, New York. First one is good. Original starting five on the floor for WVU now. Lorient, Floyd, Eagle staff, Obioha, and Huff at the foul line. Second free throw is good, and Honor Huff has yet to miss from the stripe this season, 10 for 10.
Look for the pressure, and the Fighting Camels call a timeout here.
Camels have shot it really well from the free throw line. That's one reason why they're hanging around in this game. They've also scored efficiently inside. And speaking of the free throw line, Davidas Bubka is going back there.
They are attacking they're either going to get a quality shot inside, whether it goes in or not, you have to see. But if they don't, then they're content with going to the line to try to knock two down.
That's 4 fouls on Obioha. Bubka swishes the first of 2. And Obioha will take a seat, replaced by Morris Ugasuk. Bubka's 14 points lead all scorers for West Virginia. 3 players in double figures, including Obioha. He's got a team-high 12 along with Cray Eaglestaff. DJ Thomas, the freshman, also in double figures for the first time with 10. Bubka off iron on the second free throw. Under 5.5 to go, 5-point lead for WVU. Here's Eaglestaff. Gives it to Ugasuk. Mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound Lorient to Honor Huff for 3. Yes! Big-time bucket.
Yes, it was.
For Honor Huff, his 3rd triple of the game. He's the 4th Mountaineer in double figures. It's an 8-point West Virginia edge now. Can the Fighting Camels find an answer? Johnson can't hit it off the window. Possession stays with Campbell.
Boy, good recognition after the rebound by Beto to get that ball out to Honor.
Smith working against Floyd. Rolls it over to Bubka in the key. And a kick out to Gregory. 5 on the shot clock. Smith against Eaglestaff. He's fouled. Going up. Third foul on Eagle staff, and it'll send Smith to the line. The Robert Morris transfer getting a little bit creative here late.
Well, that's the kind of, you know, if he makes it, he makes it. But the last thing you want to do if you're Tracing Eagle staff is foul there. I mean, that was going to be a difficult shot for him to knock down.
I think Eagle staff, though, might have a bit of an argument. And we've got a stoppage here. Referees tonight, Jeff Anderson, Doug Sermons, James Duke, are going to take another look at this. And I think the determination is, was it a 3 or a 2? Going back to that previous thought, though, it looked like Smith kind of gave
previous players under review
to Eagle
for a 3-point shot.
But, you know, when there's contact made like that, the call could go either way.
So for sure there, Smith took off from behind the arc. Only 2 shots awarded, but this should be a 3-point foul.
And looking at the replay, I think they probably made the right call there, you know. So.
Quick review.
After further review, the play has been confirmed. It's a 3-point shot.
So sorry, I had it wrong there. Thought only 2 shots were awarded. 3 were awarded, and that is correct upon review.
Yes. Well, that's what you want to see. You want to see the officials get it right, and they did.
So Smith to the foul line. He was 3 for 3 against Wisconsin. Last season, as a Colonial, he played here at the Coliseum in the season opener against a Darren DeVries-led WVU squad. Logged 31 minutes and scored 8 points. Robert Morris went on to win its conference, the Horizon League, last season, and then went to the NCAA tournament. Smith goes 3 for 3. He has 8 tonight, matching his 8 points against the Mountaineers in this arena a season ago.
Under 5 to go, 5-point lead for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia is led by as many as 10 in this game. The Camels have not led, but they've got it close. The lob doesn't come off. Possession stays with WVU. They ran that exact same action a couple times against the Mount Bake on Tuesday, but it looks like the Camels were ready for it.
Yeah, West Virginia got a couple of dunks off of that. But, you know, good scouting will take care of some things like that, and Campbell had that red all the way.
Floyd brings it back in for West Virginia to Eagle staff. 8 on the timer. Floyd driving, caught a deflection. Good work by Cam Gregory. Bucket here for the Camels makes it a 1-possession game with under 4 to play. Bodies get tied up. It's a foul on West Virginia, specifically on Jasper Floyd. And that'll bring us to a timeout. West Virginia leading 57-52 with under 4 minutes. He was fouled by Jasper Floyd before that last timeout. Meanwhile, West Virginia is 11 for 16. That's just shy of 69%. So better percentage-wise in this game as Newton misses the front end of a 1-and-1. Had an opportunity there to make it a 1-possession game, but comes up empty. Final 4 minutes. Nick Farrell, Warren Baker with you on ESPN+. Honor Huff a 3. Got it. Big-time shot from Huff.
And now they say it's a 2. Jeff Anderson did not hesitate.
Toes on the line there, Bake, for sure. Yep. That right foot in those hot pink shoes for Honor Huff.
Gave it away.
And maybe if you wear navy blue, you wouldn't be able to tell, I guess. I don't know. So instead of an 8-point West Virginia lead, it's a 7-point cushion. Huff has 14. That leads West Virginia. He had 16 Tuesday against Mount St. Mary's. Here's Newton. Great drive by Newton and a slam dunk.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Tough finish by the Philadelphia native. Back to a 5-point game.
I can't remember seeing a game where a team attacked the glass as much as this crowd has.
Huff driving baseline. He's been fouled. Well, since you pointed it out earlier, Bake, it's been evident ever since. The Campbells are getting whatever they want when they drive to the hoop.
Yeah, they are. That time, Belo got beat, and there was no help that came over.
Mounir Newton with an emphatic slam. But here on the other end, Honor Huff is at the free throw line for a 1-and-1. And he hit the first. These are important free throws here for Huff and West Virginia. It's back to a 6-point game. Making this free throw, though, would make it a 3-possession game with under 3 to go. Well, the focus was on his 3-point shooting when he transferred to WVU, but so far this season, his foul shooting has been impeccable. 5 for 5 is Huff, a game-high 16 points, 7-point West Virginia lead. Buka to Gregory, now Johnson on the baseline, somehow got it to Newton. A whistle before the shot. Huff committed a foul. It's going to be another 1-and-1 here for the Fighting Camels. And it's Jeremiah Johnson, the Oklahoma native, at the strike.
Well, if he misses a free throw here, it might not be a bad foul because they certainly had a layup inside.
Johnson does make the first. Smith, the point guard, exits the game, replaced there by Cook. Johnson, back end of a 1-and-1 is good. Had to make him earn it. 5-point West Virginia lead with just over 2.5 to play. The Fighting Camels had it close against Wisconsin, but then things got out of hand late. Not going to be the case here tonight. Possession stays with West Virginia. Maybe it's a lesson learned for the team under John Andershek, the first-year head coach of the Fighting Camels.
Well, West Virginia fortunate. Campbell should have come down with that rebound just now, and they fumbled it out of bounds. West Virginia gets 20 seconds on the shot clock here.
Huff with a quick pull, got it! Oh my goodness, Honor Huff!
Wow!
Eight-point game. Johnson to the hoop. He got fouled again. That's 4 on Jasper Floyd. That is a ridiculous jump shot from Honor Huff in the corner.
I mean, to fall away like that, the degree of difficulty.
Meanwhile, on the other end, Floyd thought he walled up. You got to be straight up and down in those situations. Johnson now has 10 points, and he has not missed from the free throw line in the second half. Missed his very first free throw. Since then, he's hit 8 in a row. This is the 30th free throw attempted by the Fighting Camels tonight. They've now made 24. And it's back to a 6-point game, 64-58. So Johnson exits the game. Smith is back in there. Bake, at what point do the Camels need to start attempting threes? I know they've gotten a lot inside, but it's still a 2-possession game here.
Yeah, I don't think they will right now. West Virginia's perimeter defense is pretty good.
Huff, he's red hot. That one doesn't drop. And a quick possession expires, and it's a chance here for the Camels. To Gregory, inside to Butka. He lost it. Who touched it last? It's off the foot of Obioha.
And Obioha, slow to get up. He's okay. West Virginia fortunate because I think if he controls that ball, he has a layup.
Obioha came right around him, Bake.
Yeah.
He could have turned toward the baseline and taken it to the cup there. Fields, Buka, Johnson, Gregory, and Smith in there for the Camels. They're doing a little bit of offense and defense with Tassos Cook, who has exited the game. Here's Fields to Smith. Smith, tough shot inside.
Wow.
Double-digit performance for DJ Smith after scoring 0 points in the first half. Coach Ross Hodge wants a timeout, 64-60 in favor of his squad. But man, the Camels are just hanging tough with these Mountaineers. Four opponents this season might get one on the road at some point.
Well, they were picked to finish 7th in their league. If there are 6 teams better than this crowd, boy, I'll tell you what, that's going to be one heck of a league.
Here's Jasper Floyd for West Virginia. Now Lorient inside, what a dunk by Below!
What a screen that was set too. Below wasn't going to miss that one.
Emphatic finish from Lorient. It's back to a 6-point West Virginia lead. And a timeout taken by Coach Andershek. West Virginia 66, Campbell 60.
Look
Throwing the hammer down.
Look at the clear out by the big fellow inside too. That's what set it up right here. Obioha clearing out, holding back the defense, and Below finished it.
Big, when he got that ball at the top of the arc, he took one look toward the basket and said, I'm doing this.
Good set play out of it, and he had missed one earlier. He wasn't going to miss this one.
Needed that, did the Mountaineers. 6-point WVU lead. It's been tight throughout the second half. In fact, West Virginia led by 8 at the intermission. Campbell is still outscoring WVU in the second half, 35-33. But the Mountaineers were still in front. 2-possession lead for WVU, 63 seconds left in the game. Cross-court inbound pass. It finds Smith. He misses everything. Fields keeps it in. Still loose. West Virginia comes away with it. Just a bad possession there by the Fighting Camels. First time they've had a disappointing possession like that in a while. And it comes at an inopportune time now with under a minute to go.
Well, West Virginia not in the 2-shot opportunity yet, still 1-1. So you've got to step up there, concentrate, and knock the free throws down.
At the line for West Virginia, 0 for the Lorient. 1 shot and a bonus.
So Lorient at the line for a 1-1 for West Virginia. First foul shot is good. 5th Mountaineer in double figures. Obioha, Eaglestaff, Thomas, Lorient, and a game-high 19 from Honor Huff. Lorient good again. 8-point game.
If you're West Virginia, no foul. Make them earn it. Let the clock keep running.
Even though the Camels have gotten what they've wanted in the key, they're only shooting 35% for the game. Rejection.
Wow.
And a tag team block from Lorient and Obioha. That might be that.
There were four hands on that ball just now.
Honor Huff will go to the free throw line. Great defending down low from WVU. Another 1-1 here for West Virginia. Mentioned the shooting from Campbell, 35% for the game. But Bake, the Camels are just 2 of 14 from beyond the arc.
Yep.
Hoff misses his first free throw miss. Gregory outside to Johnson, takes it into the key, still loose. Fields has a double-double. 10 points for Chris Fields. Chance Moore and Jackson Fields both inactive for the first couple of games. They're getting close to entering the lineup. Huff is fouled. Good work by Floyd to get it into him.
And there were pick set for Honor Huff to get that ball.
Key here for West Virginia is that that's Campbell's 10th team foul, so it's 2 shots for Huff.
And Honor Huff missed his last free throw, which you won't see very often.
He was an 82% free throw shooter last season with Chattanooga. The Butka brothers are sitting at the scorer's table, getting ready to enter after this free throw from Huff. And this type of performance is really what you expect from him, right, Big? 20 points tonight. He's been huge in the second half.
Now, he had 16 opening night, but did not shoot the ball well from 3, and you know that that's not going to continue to happen. So he showed a little bit tonight about what he's going to be like when he gets hot from 3.
4 3-pointers tonight, including 2 big ones here in the late stages of this game. He's got 21. Smith is fouled by Lorient.
You don't want to foul there, although there's only 15 seconds left, but still, you know, you'll give up the basket before you want to send somebody to the free throw line.
Tinge of frustration there from Coach Hodge, crouched down on the far sideline. But as you mentioned, Bake, there's some good film to look at tonight, how this team handled a close game early in the season. And as Coach Hodge has said before, with a group of essentially entirely new teammates in a new system that really values defensive intensity, it's going to take some time for this team to gel.
That's right.
In fact, he is estimating that it will take at least 10 games for this team to figure out its identity, specifically on the defensive side. But maybe once that occurs, things will start to click for this team.
Well, yes. And Chance Moore is going to help quite a bit, along with Jackson Fields, when they are able to play.
Gregory fouls Lorient. It's a 7-point game.
Chance Moore, 2 games down, 3 to go. I talked to him before the ball game tonight, and he's just itching to get there. I said, be patient, young man. It's coming quick here now.
Moore, the 5th year, previously played for St. Bonaventure and Missouri State. Fields, we also mentioned him. He's a senior who played the last 3 seasons at Troy. That team won the Sun Belt a season ago and went to the NCAA tournament. Lorient misses from the line.
Well, one thing Coach Hodge said was he wanted to surround himself with winners, and that's what he's done. I mean, Honor Huff was on the Chattanooga NIT championship team. You know, Eagle staff has played in tough games, so he's got players that know how to win.
Lorient's 2nd of 2 is good. 5 Mountaineers in double figures, 4 of them with 12 points or more. Lorient, Eagle staff, Obioha all with 12, Huff with 21. 8-point West Virginia lead. 10 seconds left. Smith is stripped. Huff is clubbed. And Huff will shoot free throws here, but that'll essentially be it. West Virginia has had to scrap for everything it's earned tonight against a really solid performance from the Fighting Campbells.
Yes, that's exactly right.
First of 2 here from Huff, and it's good. Second free throw good from Huff. 23 points from him. And a finish by Johnson to make it an 8-point game. Ross Hodge has his 2nd victory in as many games as the head coach of the Mountaineers, winning a battle of first-year head coaches over John Anderschek